All right, so welcome everyone to the group. Doesn't look like we have any new members present, but maybe online. So welcome anyone online listening to this. And then we want to go through previous meetings. Do we have any tasks that we had for this meeting? Tasks?
Tasks? I was liking tasks.
Tasks, yeah.
Tasks.
Well, the only task that we have that I can remember is reporting on either the 75-day challenge, how we're doing, or talking about three things that we succeeded in the last week.
Okay, that's good.
3 done wells. 3 done wells.
Three done
That's the book talks about.
wells. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So first let's talk about maybe 3 done wells. Should we do that? Okay, maybe we can go around. You want to start, Doug?
Sure.
If you only have one, we can circle around, you know?
Well, I guess to me, the where I would go is, I mean, most of the time I sit on the residential side, but I've got a couple of guys that I've done some things commercially with, and so I've got a new commercial account that I'm started working with this week to find them space and to sell their space. So I think that's a good win. That'll be. It's always a different. Because I mean, you know, commercial stuff is very much black and white numbers, and residential is emotion. So it's just different, and so to me, it's gonna be it's nice to have that running and nice to be in that space. So there you go. There's one.
Cool. Yeah. I've got maybe 2. So when was it? March 11th, I went to South Africa for like 10, 11 days. And so that's when you own your own business and a lot of your income's dependent on your hands, you know? And so it's kind of like scary moving away, right? Because you don't have any income, right? And you don't have any paid vacation. So that was so when I came back, actually, so my income didn't drop off that much. So that was actually kind of a win for me, showing that my business is kind of more stable, you know? And it's not only dependent on me, you know, so it's kind of a little bit of more residual income coming through. So I thought that was a win. And then I've also been kind of really looking at my goals, like what I want to achieve again, you know. I have them all on my phone, but a lot of the time I go through and I don't look at them for a while, you know. It's kind of like just revisiting my goals. So I think trying to get back on track with my goals. So those, I think, a win. So just revisiting that.
For me, I've been off and on struggling with this because this has been one of the hardest mental games that I've had to redo. And with its new stage of life, being a new mom and, you know, having this new, career for me to specifically learn to market myself and get myself out there, it's been a lot to juggle. So I say honestly, when it comes to my wins, getting out the house, like being able to just go on a walk, even just to the park and talking with some other moms or anything like that has been very helpful because it's getting me out of my, cave of a house and being able to still, market myself, but also, socialize in a way where I can, not feel alone in that type of sense. And I guess another win for me is really deep diving into what, my personal goals are compared to work goals and trying to push myself through the day and not go down in a slump, as they say in this book. So,
I would say for me, I've done pretty good on, not pretty good, I did really well yesterday on nailing my process goals. To last night it got to be like 9:30 p.m. and I'm like, dang it, I still have my second 45. So I went out and did my second 45. It was cold and dark, but I did it. And then the third one, I would just say I'm finding a lot of enjoyment doing the 10 pages a day for the 75 hard. I think that one's been probably my favorite. Sometimes it's at 11 o'clock at night, sometimes it's at noon, but I've been doing the 10 pages a day, and I think that's been a good done well.
Well, for me, I'm in a different phase of life than you guys are right now. Actually, the last 4 weeks, I put about 5,000 miles on our vehicle, going to Missouri back and Idaho and back several times, and just trying to get things arranged for our the next phase of our life. Another win is we bought a motorhome.
Nice.
So
Yay!
so that's exciting.
Did you bring it today?
Yeah, I was gonna
No.
say. Next time.
Well, last meeting there was one parked out here.
Yeah,
I thought it was you sitting out there in the.
We'll have to have our meeting in your motorhome next time.
There we go.
Maybe. Yeah, it's a 31-foot C class, so it's nice. It's only, well, it's 2017, but it's only has 25,000 miles on it, so it's basically new. So
Cool.
Congratulations.
Exciting, yeah.
That's so exciting.
Oh, back to me, huh? Okay, so the next one is report on the 75-day challenge. Interesting. So who wants to go first on that one?
We can go same way.
Same way,
I mean,
okay.
yeah. If I had to put a percentage on it, I'm probably 85-90% doing that. The one, I think the hardest thing I have is that second exercise in the day, because I've always exercised at night, and so to try to put one in between all the morning stuff has been challenging. But and then Garrett and I were talking about the water. To me, the water is one that you think is a big deal, but then when you put it together, really isn't that big a deal, except for the fact that you've got to add in the bathroom rotations with it. But anyway, so it's been good.
For the first couple weeks, my wife said it was like a pregnant lady. It was like a pregnant lady.
Listen, it was honestly no different
Really?
for me. It was like, oh, I guess hopefully I'm not pregnant still, but.
So,
Well, the water thing with me was a huge. So when I was going to start it, so I left to South Africa on the 11th. So I'm like, I can't do that, So it's like, but
you didn't want to take a gallon
Yeah, I know.
on the airplane.
But what I did start, so I was leaving like that Tuesday, and then I started the water challenge because I'm like, let me test this out. So I started my water challenge like on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and my bladder was just like going the whole day. That was a big challenge. So, and then honestly, so I went to South Africa, and I'm like, because I went for my mom and everything, I'm like, I'm not going to do this. So, but I kind of do a lot of that stuff anyway, So honestly, I haven't done like actually being on the challenge is like maybe 20%, but I'm doing a lot of the stuff anyway, Like I go to gym at 6 o'clock every day, or most days and that. So, but I'd be lying to myself if I said I've been really good at it, So that's kind of, but going back to South Africa, reconnecting with family, So that's kind of for me, that was more important than starting the challenge.
Well, one thing that he does that is interesting is I've my weight has just stayed, and it doesn't matter what I do, it's just locked in. And he and I have talked about different things, and he does water fasts for like a day or two, and so I decided to do that twice in conjunction with this, and it kicked my metabolism to where, I mean, I've lost 8 pounds, but I think it was the water fast that kind of shocked the system into working again. I don't know.
So what I'm kind of saying, I kind of do a lot of things anyway, you know? So like, just not exactly this system, you know? So yeah, like, yeah, a good way is a water fast for like 3 days, you know? That just resets. It's trying to get a hold of your cravings, you know? And you're trying to get, so you're in control of your body, not it driving you, you know? And then what I do, so I did a 3-day fast, water fast, and I have about 150 calories, so maybe like a banana and apple a day, so you have something. And then I started doing, then after the 3-day, I would just do 1 meal a day, kind of like an intermittent fasting. That really worked for me. And I also lost like about 6 pounds, you know? And I don't carry a lot, so, but yeah. But I need to improve on the reading, I think. Go for it.
I am on day 15 of another try, so.
Nice.
Originally when I started, I did the water fasting. That actually helped me out a lot the first time. The biggest thing that stopped me the first time was my hydro jug, this bad boy, being super full and falling on my toe. So I barely, I was limping for a little while. So that was a little bit hard for me. And then also, you know, juggling with my new little one who wants to be super mobile. It's been a new challenge that way. So
They'll keep you running after.
yes, yeah, and you know what? I should count that, but it's not always 45 minutes consistent worth, so I don't want to count that. But yeah, no, and I will say, no matter what, the fact that I'm still trying, I'm still pushing to get the challenge done and redo it just like I did, you know, a couple years ago. It's been trying to kick my mind back in, and it's been a struggle. It is not easy whatsoever, as you guys know, but it's a challenge, and that's what we're here for. We're here to challenge our minds and create new good habits in our life and just keep going. So that's where I'm at.
Perfect. Well, I started the day of our last mastermind, and I'm on day 40 now, so I haven't broken it yet.
That's good.
But I've been doing it just as written. I did get a nutritionist, so that's the diet I chose to follow, just kind of whatever he says. And so he's probably a little, I don't know, he's like, yeah, you can have the cookie here, but he said pick someone, nutritionist is best. So I picked a nutritionist, and he's been helping me there, and that's been really good.
Cool.
The nutritionist just here in San Quinn, or?
No, I went through an app called Faye.
Oh, okay.
And so the insurance counts it as preventative.
Nice.
So they pay for him, and
There you
he's
go.
been really good. He's been really good, actually. So,
Okay.
so yeah, kind of just trying to follow it as written. And the things that I found really interesting is you really can get it done. And I think that's the confidence boost that I've had, because it's a mental toughness thing first, health thing second, as he says in the podcast. And so just kind of following it to the letter is what I've been doing. And it's kind of interesting how each of the things will be hard in different ways on different days, and some days other ones will be easier. So like I've had, like yesterday, for example, I got to 2 and I was like, oh crap, I have nothing water-wise. This is gonna be a rough night.
There you go.
Or my trip to St. Louis, it's like meetings are starting at 7 a.m. and I need to get 2:45s in, so how are we gonna do this? I made it work.
Wow.
But it's cool the confidence it gives. So, and 40 days in, I can't break it now.
I'll keep going.
Yeah, gotta keep going over halfway. So I
Wow.
think it's been going really well.
That's impressive.
Good for you.
I lost about 13 pounds doing it. I know health is secondary, but it's still cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Wow.
Well, you know, I read through the 75-day challenge, and I realized, you know, I'm probably not going to be able to do this all full time, mainly because of my health problems. I've got I have a problem with dizziness. I don't know if you guys have noticed or not. And part of that is because of my low blood pressure. And so I have to eat a lot of salt. my being told by my cardiologist and my some of my other doctors. Anyway, so in order to do that, I can't drink a lot of water because that washes all that salt out. Mm-hmm. So you kind of have to decide, okay, what am I going to do here to balance this a little bit? Yeah, okay, so yeah, I am drinking more water than I had before because I rarely drank water. But so what I'm looking at this as this is not just a 75-day challenge. This is a lifestyle change,
It really is.
and that's what you have to look at. You know, what can I do that'll change my lifestyle from what I've been doing in the past to something that I'd like it to be more like.
There's a lot of things in there I want to keep doing, just maybe not as strict.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
That's where I'm at.
Cool.
Yeah, and on the health part, drinking that much water, you can actually leach out a lot of your minerals in that. So I don't think it's a good long-term strategy, you know? And also everyone's body's different, right? And our body weights are different, right? So a 100-pound person drinking a gallon of water a day versus a 200-pound, that's kind of a difference, right? So, so, cool. Okay, next one, member updates. Each member shares progress. We kind of talked about that, but any other successes, challenges, maybe needs, you know? Kind of open discussion here. So what's on your guys' mind? Maybe I'll also throw out here, how's this group working for you as well in your life, you know? And what things maybe do we need more from it or less of it, you know? Like I remember a member was here and said that this didn't fit into their life, you know? And so that could be like a real thing, but also maybe sometimes, I don't know, how committed are we to different things, right? So we've got different commitment levels. I was listening to Jim Rohn this morning and about talking about when you're interested, you know, you just kind of pick and choose things, you know, and then when you're committed. So I think you've been really committed to the 75 challenge, right? I've been interested, right? I have not, you know, and so I haven't done things as strictly. And so in our lives, in our business, you know, how committed are we, you know, and how are we just like testing the waters? Like, you know, there's the whole saying that burn the boats, you know, and so how committed are we to, you know, an immigrant comes over here, they've got no connections, no nothing, they have to make it work, right? Whereas if you have a wealthy family, you know, you've got an uncle or dad that's going to give you an inheritance or something like that, how hard are those two going to work, you know? And so, I don't know. So maybe I can throw that, how committed are we, what challenges are you having in your business, your life, you know, on commitment levels? So kind of throw that out.
So I had a pneumonia for 2 weeks, like 4 weeks ago.
Oh yeah?
My little son actually ended up going to the hospital because he had it too.
Wow, okay.
So that wasn't fun. He's fine now, everyone's fine now.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to remember where I was going with this. The challenge was I kind of fell off a lot of my process goals.
Uh-huh.
And so getting back on the horse to doing the process goals. Like I still did 75 hard through it, just walks, not like runs or anything. Doctor said that was stupid. So
Right, yeah.
but walks still count. So, but yeah, just kind of getting back on those process goals because I think those are so important. Finding the 3 most important things you need to do every day and just get them done every day.
Yeah, wow.
I guess when it's when you ask, you know, what about the group can we like improve or what's helpful about the group? I honestly feel like this group is nice because it pushes you. Even right now where we have this, you know, challenge going on, it's, you know, we're committed to at least, you know, coming, showing up, trying to be better in the type of industries that we're in. We're trying to, you know, get other ideas and something to put into our lives to help us in where we are, not only personally but also in the business world. And I don't know, I feel like this group's nice to have that. You don't have to buy into it just to, you know, have some kind of subscription. It's, you're here, you're showing up. This is on you at this point. So,
Accountability partners.
yes, thank you.
Yeah, it is.
As I've thought about it, to me, I really like this group. To me, I think the one thing that I would love to see added that you don't see in a lot of the other groups is I think all of our businesses are similar enough that if we go through, and I was going to do that with the hot seat anyway, but it would be nice to be able to have some section where we could dial in on a business aspect, whether that's, you know, finding clients, retaining clients, you know, following up with clients. I mean, you know, all those aspects of business we all do, and it would be nice to be able to maybe dial in that and have some kind of section every time we meet with that.
Kind of like his Inigo Montoya.
Yeah, exactly. So.
So who would lead that section?
Just rotate it every
Yeah.
week like we do everything else.
Yeah.
You could have the host, you could have the book review, and you could have like the
A hot seat.
lesson teacher, however you want to phrase it. Learning leader.
Yeah, and I don't think it has to be, you know, like a
Chocolate.
doctrinal dissertation. You know, I think, and like I said, I think all of us, if we started looking at it, maybe if it's all right, I'll just jump over to the hot seat where I was going to go with this anyway. So, to me, like one of the things that I have not been able to put I haven't been able to figure out the component of the referrals. And so referrals I think all of our businesses are the best money for us. That gives us the best response and the best retention. And so to me, it's like, I watched a neighbor put a new roof on his house over the weekend. And so it's like, well, where did he find that roofer? Because a year ago, I did my roof, and I know who I found, and the neighbor did their roof and used the same roofers. And so where is that? And then the next component to that is, you know, I've got a really good group that's there, or in past clients that I keep track of, but it's how do you get those past clients to refer you on to their friends and family? And I think because, and again, my daughter and her husband are in Arkansas, they're buying a house. I helped them buy the house, you know, in Arkansas, but then my son-in-law turns around to his brother and says, hey, he just helped us buy this house, and this is what he did. So and they're here in Utah. So rather than having them, call him and having me in the middle of it, he just told his brother, they went out and did it themselves. And so it's like, how do you get that extra connection component? So that's the question.
Yeah.
That's the hot seat part of it, I guess. But
It's like if you had 70% capacity of your visit, you know, how do you get to the extra 30%, you know? And the extra,
or even an extra 10.
yeah, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Ideas?
Oh.
Because I'm also the same thing. I'm kind of at a certain percentage. It's like, how do you break that, you know? Get that sweet spot and then keep it consistent. Because I've had times where you get, you know, but then it comes down and there's going to be business cycles and, you know. But yeah, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's no secret. I mean, I go to him for chiropractic and stuff that way. And I refer your business as much as I can. But at the same time, it's that, you know, I brought my kids to him, but do my kids refer him like I do? Because, and so, to me, if I think that next generation, if you will, of client, if you could get them to bringing that on,
Right.
you know,
It's exponential. The growth,
yeah, that's
you know?
the yeah.
Well, I know I've seen referral programs that have been that I've seen online or over the years rather, because before this was even online, or before there was an online.
Were they still chiseling it out of rock?
That's right. So yeah, there are referral programs that you can look at, and it'll take you through the process of how do you do a good referral program. I don't know that I can't remember me ever. I know I looked through them and stuff. I don't know if I've ever used them or not, but. So that's one thing that you can do is you can just look online and say, okay, I'd like to get a referral program going.
Sure.
You know, probably the best thing that I've done is, you know, just talking with my current clients and asking them, hey, you know, how, you know, do you know other people, or who would you recommend me to go and see?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, the simple, how many of us are always asking for referrals, you know? Yeah.
My mission president used to call it the manner of Ammon. And it's basically, because you always have small talk with your clients, right? And in that small talk, they're going to bring up names, just naturally in the small talk. And so for the manner of Ammon, and I don't totally get the connection with Ammon, but apparently he had it, and I've never truly made that connection there. But where he just kind of would listen during these small talk stages or these conversations. And if they mentioned a friend that owned a store next door that they went to dinner with last night, you're writing down the name. If they're mentioning a brother or whatever, you're writing down the name. Not necessarily, it's a little bit mental and then you write it down later, but you're remembering those names. And when you have a sizable list, you take the name to the client and you're just like, hey, these are people that you care about. Is there anyone I should not be reaching out to? And then sometimes they'll be like, well, this guy's a jerk, you should cross him off, or whatever. And that's been fairly effective when I remember to do it. And that's how my mission president said he built his entire practice. He was a disability insurance sales, is what he did. Just manner of Ammon, paying attention to what they're saying.
That's good.
Or even I've also heard being specific in your ask of like, what, do you have any other coworkers? I'm not phrasing this very well here on the hot seat, on the spot, but
Yeah, no.
it's like, I know you talk about your work a lot, what coworkers do you think I can help? Or being more specific, or do you know, you're a business owner, do you know any other business owners I should be talking to? Just the specificity.
Yeah, I like that.
One of the things that I've also done is look to try and get people to leave a good referral on my website.
Mm-hmm.
Two things you can do. One is those people that you work with, you know, they're especially if they're commercial clients, leave a positive review on their website, and they'll, you know, it's not saying that they will be reciprocal, but it's just natural that they will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of the things that I also do is with my clients, especially my new clients, I'll send them a text or an email. You know, it's part of my business. And at the end, I'll say, well, this is what I have as far as the text. Hi, this is Douglas with Big Pine Insurance. You can really make my day in just a few moments. Go to this website. I'm going to put my website on there as a link, and post a review for our agency. It's simple, fast, non-fat, non-sugar, gluten-free, and will raise you in my esteem.
I like that.
My industry doesn't let me do testimonials or stuff like that, unfortunately, so
Right.
highly regulated in that sense.
What other things, Mr. Hot Seat Man? So you're asking us about referrals. Is there anything else in your business that?
I think right now, I think in the real estate world right now, it's, you know, if you have business, you're doing a lot better than 90% of the rest of the industry. I mean, last year alone, there were 7,500 homes in Utah that didn't sell. They expired, they just timed out, and people just decided not to sell.
Wow.
So you got 7,500 that just went away, went off the market. So there's a lot to it, but yeah, I think right now I think we've talked about it a little bit, but you know, it's always interesting to find out who somebody's listening to, you know, as far as
Advice about houses?
yeah, advice about houses, advice about monies, doctors, whatever,
The crazy
insurance.
uncle.
Yeah, it really is, and it's always interesting that way. I went in, I had my yearly physical here, the first of the month, and so they want to go in and do all the blood draw and stuff like that. And it was the first time every physical I've ever had from the time I was little, they've always told me I was too big. That at 6'1" I should be 185 pounds. And I was 185 pounds as a sophomore in high school. Anyway, this last doctor's visit was the first doctor's visit where he told me that I would never, I'm not built that way. And I was just like, well, okay, so somebody recognizes that there's not just a chart, that everybody's different. And I was like, it kind of shocked me a little bit because, you know, but I guess, and I guess even with going back to referrals, that's kind of what we're talking. All of our businesses are similar enough that we can have talking points that way, but we've all kind of got to assimilate the information based on, you know, regulations. You know, I've got those kind of regulations too, you know, because I mean, it'd be really easy to just put online somewhere that you'll pay somebody for a referral,
Yeah.
but can't do that.
Yep.
So anyway, there you go.
Yeah. Anything else, Doug, that we can help you with?
No, that's there you go.
Okay. All right, we'll go next on to our book review segment. I think, Alana, you got it?
Yes.
Okay.
Bear with me because I have lots of notes.
Okay, good.
Alrighty. Okay, well, obviously in the preface where it was talking about, you know, this is something that I relate to. This is why it caught my attention, was the mom who was a dancer, who, you know, was a coach, and she was a she was trying to juggle everything, which is something that I'm even trying to do. You know, trying to find a new idea and perspective of life, but not use it as an excuse of why I can't do something just because I'm a new mom. And that's something I've been catching myself doing lately, where I'm like, listen, my child needs me more. I need to be more present. I need to do this. And everything's wrapped around my child. Not in a bad way, where obviously that's something that I want to do. That's where I want my focus, you know, on top of everything else. But at the same time, I don't want it to hold me back to push myself in life and push myself to you know, use these tools. And so obviously we're incorporating the 75 hard. It's been a new type of, again, mindset that we're all trying to shift from, getting away from those negative thoughts, trying to shift them into the positivity. Any second that I get, this has been me trying to retrain my brain of instead of thinking of all the things that I wish I had, or I want, you know, this, I want that. I can make it happen, but without all the negatives, without comparing myself to everyone, without, you know, again, trying to get something in there positive within that 60 seconds to shift your brain and look at it in a new outlook. My husband, poor guy. I'm sure you guys have dealt with this with your guys' wives, but you know, I haven't been great with recognizing the things that he's been doing, and so after, you know, reading this book, it's been eye-opening. And again, my poor husband, finding all the things that he does that I can be appreciative of, it's like, oh my goodness, like you're thinking of me, you're listening to me, you know, like what I'm doing, because I'm taking a step back and I'm realizing that there's a lot of positives that's going on here, that I can see that you're trying to be better, be a better person, and help me out with our son. And I'll tell you this much, I'm sure you guys know, being in the new parent life, it's a struggle with babies, and it feels, as a mom, it feels almost like you're alone trying to do it all yourself. And so having that, it almost feels like my mind is like flipped a switch somehow, where I'm starting to notice and I'm starting to, you know, change my mindset, and it's improving my day. It's improving my perspective of life. I'm not so stressful as much. You know, obviously there's still stressful moments, but it's I'd rather choose happiness over drama. And that's the whole thing in this, is when you're constantly thinking negative, that's your mindset. It's drama. It's you're not wanting to improve. You're just wanting to sit and dwell on it. You're wanting to, you know, it ruins your life. And if you're getting into that slump, where else are you gonna go? You're only gonna continue to go down from there.
Cycle, yeah, because it makes you slower, dumber, and fatter.
Exactly. And so that's the biggest thing, is having that positive outlook. It's so important. It's crucial in your life, because it really does lift up your mood and your day. And also, my husband was the first time I like actually told him, wow, like I really appreciate you, you know, helping me out with bedtime routine. Like that's almost feels like a weight off my shoulders. Like this is great. He consistently, you know, helped out with bedtime routine. It's been our new norm. And I think that also shifted for him, because he's starting to feel appreciation, you know, for me recognizing that. And I don't know if you guys have tried the challenges so far, the things to do in here, but you know, they're so simple, they're so small, and applying it has you know, it's made me take a step back and catch myself. So yeah, that's kind of what I have from this.
To me, I think comparisons are one of those that we always get tagged into. And I think, to me, I think the thing that I've found is that you gotta define the comparison. Because, you know, I mean, driving in the car, you hear ads for real estate agents, you know, on there. Or I go to trainings and it's like, they have somebody stand up and it's like, we've sold 1,000 houses this year. And it's like, not possible. And so let's define it. Let's really look at what it is. So 1,000 houses, that's probably a team of 12 people, and they've got all kinds of assistants, and so they're spending $25,000 a month to be able to sell 1,000. Do I want to be there? And the answer is no. I don't want to deal with. But to me, when I break down and actually define what that comparison in my mind's trying to do, it helps me understand. There's a new kid that jumped in that, I mean, he was at Springville and played football against one of my sons, and he jumped into real estate, and he's done very well, but he does stuff that I can't do because he happens to be ethnically, he's black. Well, and so he's tied into all kinds of different ethnic groups like that online with Facebook and other things, and that's where his market is. Well, I can't do that. And so to me, it's not good for me to compare myself when you can't or you don't want to. But
Well, as Jason's also said with comparison, is if you're going to compare to the 100 people behind you, compare to the 5 people in front of you too. Or if you're going to compare to the 5 people in front of you, compare to the 100 people behind you as well. Because you really have come a long way.
yeah.
And I like the question, have we gotten to the question of what's one thing I can do to improve this situation? Has he already brought that up? Okay, perfect. I just think that's a great thing.
Like a solution, just
if you're just sitting at work and you're like, I have 2 hours left in the day, what should I be doing here? What's one thing I can do right now to make this situation better? And even if it's an inch in the right direction, it's progress.
Yeah, like someone was saying, they've started a financial business and that, and they had like a client cancel, right? So they got an hour open. What are they going to do, right? Yeah. What are they going to do with that, right? Yeah. Also, I was reading another kind of book, and that also like releasing yourself from attachments, you know, of like how you used to be, you know. It's like we're all trying to grow to become someone else so we can get to another level, and so we have these attachments, or some of that could be comparisons, you know. And so like if you say like, I've always been shy, and you keep on playing that program, right? Then you're not going to get anywhere, you know.
Become your identity.
Yeah, exactly. So what can we do to release some of those attachments that aren't serving us?
And he'll get into some things at the very end of the book that are really good, like some mental workouts and success log and stuff like that that'll kind of help with that sort of thing.
there was a website on here that I don't know if you guys looked it up. I'm sure you already did, but there was like a template, which I wasn't gonna pay $45 for the template, but they did have a free PDF one of it. So I downloaded the free PDF. I just remembered it this morning as I was driving here. That means I have not like been able to really look at it, but it's something that I'm actually starting today. I'm going to be trying to go through that template and try and apply it to my everyday life, because again, your mind is so powerful, and everyone says that all the time, but now I'm like really, as I'm remembering, obviously the first time that I did 75 hard, how tough that was for me, I didn't realize, and now that I'm trying to do it again, it's like, oh wow, like
It's still hard.
it's still hard, and you're still challenging your brain, you're still like trying to make yourself a better person, and the whole point of doing that is trying to control your mind, and that obviously controls your feelings, it controls your emotions, it controls the way that you react to things, and honestly, you're more of a powerful person if you can control your brain, and that's the route I'm trying to take. So
I, as I was reading through this, just part of the things that hit me was the idea of positive versus negative thinking, and how important that is. And I don't know if you guys have seen this.
My grandma said the only two things in life that you worry about.
Have seen this this video or not? This is by a comedian, but what he's saying there is really important. So let me play this for you here.
My grandma said the only two things in life that you worry about. Whether you're healthy or whether you're sick. If you're healthy, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you're sick, you got two things to worry about. Whether you're gonna get better, whether you're gonna get worse. If you get better, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you get worse, you got two things to worry about. Whether you're gonna live, whether you're gonna die. If you live, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you die, you got two things. Whether you're going to heaven, whether you're going to hell. If you're going to heaven, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Whether you're going to hell, you got two things. Original or extra crispy? My grandma said the only two things in life that you worry about. Extra crispy.
The point is that we worry about too many things sometimes, and they're really inconsequential when you really break it down to what's really important.
Isn't it Atomic Habits that has the two circles? Like you have your circle of influence and then the circle of concern. I think that's Atomic Habits, isn't it? And the difference between the circle of influence and the circle of concern, like you can't do anything about that.
Right.
So you want to like shrink that circle to your circle of concern.
touching base on that too, where obviously in this book it talks about being optimistic. There's optimistic people, and then I'm gonna ruin this word, but
Pessimistic.
thank you. And and it's funny because that's another thing, is it shined light on all of my worrying, and I have a lot of worries. So one of the things on here was a thing to do. We are so good at being problem focused that we don't often realize that we're doing it. The challenge was to take a minute and just, tally all of the things that you're thinking about that's negative or that worries you. Well, because of how crazy, unfortunately, my brain works, I had 10 things in that 1 minute, because that's how my mind operates, is 10 things in just 1 minute, where I'm just like, oh no, this, that, oh no, what, oh, and
So
it
you
just
need
slows.
decaf is what you're saying?
No, seriously, no, it's not even coffee. I will say, funny enough, I only drink coffee maybe twice a week now, which is so funny because I used to drink it on the regular, and now I would live and breathe off of coffee. Now it's like once or twice, and it's only because mostly the mornings where I'm like, oh, this is rough, I need just a little bit of caffeine. So it's, because I say that is because usually the average per day negative thoughts is like 4,800. For me, that was 9,600. So that kind of made me take a step back and reflect. Okay, is all of this necessary? Am I over analyzing it? Is there certain things I know that are out of my control? I need to just let it go. I can deal with the important things, the things that are obviously necessary, but take a step back, realize how much things that I'm thinking about that are negative, and switch them and try and think, okay, well, why would I keep continuing to look at the negatives? What is positive out of this? I don't want to be negative my whole life. I don't want drama. Let's switch that mindset. So I thought that was a really good exercise. I don't know if you guys did that or not, but I just thought I'd share that because this video reminded me of that. And it's crazy again how much your mind controls your life, and you need to take charge. So
And I like in there too that it's like, it's not, thinking the negative thing isn't the bad thing because you're biologically hardwired to do that. It's switching as soon as you can.
yes.
And I like he's looking out his window when he does his 1 minute thing, and he sees the pot that's tipped over, and that's what he focuses on. And he wrote the book. Yeah.
Learning to take a step back and appreciate the things that you also have, and like you said before, looking at the people in front of you, but also looking at the people behind you, because likely you've come so far in your life. Why give up now? Why just because someone has what you don't have, make it happen, but don't dwell on it. Don't drain your life and your focus on other people and start obsessing about the things that you wish you had when you can just make it happen yourself. And
There's people that look at you that's like, I wish I could inherit an insurance firm. Or you have other people that are like, yeah, I got my dad's multi-million-dollar insurance firm.
A lot of people and that's another thing too. Like you said, like I'm so grateful to meet Doug, and also I'll try and host.
Okay.
Who's hosting?
Me.
Okay.
Then hot seat.
I'm sure I could come up with something.
Yeah. You? Okay.
I think it's been a while since I've done the hot seat. So.
And then
Who wants to do the book review then?
I'll do the book review. To what page should we do?
60 to
We'll do the
120.
next section, which is up through 126.
Okay.
So it'll be chapter 4 through
Just that section, right? Replace
Yeah.
the replace.
through
part
chapter
two.
6, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If you're doing 10 pages a day, that's easy.
All right. Recaps. Any announcements? Do we have any announcements?
Let's see.
Okay.
We really need to get more people to come to these meetings. So,
Still working on one guy.
let's focus on trying to get more people physically to the meeting.
Also, that's what the point that I was thinking, like what,
How do we go about that?
but also like what, because like when I'm driving, I'm like, what do I want to get out of this? What do I need for my business? And we all at different levels, So, like, I look at my business as like, if it's growing, that means I'm creating value and I'm meeting most of my people's needs, right? They being drawn to the business, right? If it's not growing, that means maybe we're not like, what do you call it? Reaching some of people's needs, Just being honest, So it's like, I know, thinking of someone, Bruce, so it's like, I listened to the comment, he said, this gets in the way of my routine. It's like, okay, so is it, or is it his commitment level? And it's also like, what do we want out of, like, I like that, maybe we can focus on a segment where we talk about like, what's work, I don't know, what did you say in your business? Like some business strategies or principles, it's like,
Throw that in there. I'll do that. Bring that next week or next time.
You know what I mean?
Just
Just
a
more like,
business strategy or
you know,
something.
or like some groups, like it would be nice if we got to a point where it's big enough where there are actually, there's networking, you know, and businesses flowing as well, right? In a small group, we can't do that, but it's like, for me, I'd love that part of it as well, right? And so it's like, what kind of things do we want in a group, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and what level are we at, you know? There's some groups where they have only presidents of companies, you know, there's like, you know, like think tank people, that there's different levels. I don't know, so it's like, I don't know, my thoughts are, what do we want this to become, you know?
I will say, trying to figure out how to, because with the Chamber of Commerce for City of San Quentin and Payson, I've tried to be a lot more open and throw out the fact that we have the South Valley Masterminds. Like that, to me, I'm very confident about saying, hey, like, this is another group that I'm in and stuff, but I guess I haven't found another person that's asked more questions regarding it. So I guess, how would I continue in a way of bringing more people? You know, obviously, I don't know if we want to take from the city of San Quentin Payson Chamber, but even if we did, you know, how would I come across that? I don't know a lot of business owners. That's my biggest thing, is unless it's one of our, you know, the commercial clients that I'd be working on, I wouldn't know who to talk to. Obviously, still, because I'm young, I know a plumber, but I don't know if he would even benefit from this group.
But does he own his own business?
Yeah.
So he'd benefit.
Okay.
So maybe it's business owners that's our niche, and maybe not creating competition in our group. So we already have a real estate agent, so maybe being a little bit more restrictive, like BNI is. Real estate agents' seats full, insurance is full, chiropractor's full.
But also why I come is also the personal growth part.
Yeah,
So
very much
anyone
so.
that really wants to become better, you know, as well. Maybe not only a business owner, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know that's one of the things I come for.
I think that's probably one of the things that we need to do is talk, when we're talking to people and we tell them, hey, look, I'm part of a mastermind group. I'm not sure it would benefit you, but this is how it's benefiting me.
Right.
You know, and just let them know. And basically, what you're doing is you're bearing your testimony about, hey,
group,
this is
yeah.
important to me.
Yep.
You know, and let them decide whether or not they want to come or not. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Well, and I mean, I've invited a couple different guys. I've had an electrician that I invited, but to your point, he hasn't seen he doesn't see the value of getting out of bed yet. You know, yet. We'll get him here.
And everyone's a different, it's okay, right?
My husband, he's still in school and he's working as he's in school, but he's an electrician. He's going to be starting his own electrician company in probably 4 years. We still got a while because he's only 2 years in for school, and then there's a long process for him to also get hours and all that jazz. And so, you know, I actually did talk to him about it, but because his schedule, he has to be on the job site at 6:30. That's, I don't know if this would even benefit, you know, coming for only a little bit, but that's something that I have talked to my husband about. And I know that when the time comes for him to start his own company, I know that this would be a good group for him to get involved in too. So
you're going to bring your kid too, huh?
hey, if you guys are okay with it, just kidding. No, I would have something set up where I can try and have someone watching for a little bit.
Would it? I wonder. I just had one of those right across my. What if we invited somebody to come present something about their business? Okay. You know, like we've talked about social. You know, like social media. Oh, well, why don't you come and we'll give you 15 minutes to talk about social media and what makes you different, blah blah. And then we kind of try to lock them in to coming every time. I don't know. Just a thought, but
Because you're all kind of coming here for a little bit of a selfish reason, right? To like either become better, you know, or improve our business, you know? And those are kind of the same thing. And so that's not a bad thing because they're coming to promote their business, right?
right.
Well, that's kind of part of the introduction of new members, but we haven't had new members here for a while, so we haven't had anybody been able to, you know, present who they are, what they do, and a little more about their business. You know, I'd be open for each of us to talk, you know, about our business, what we do, and why.
So maybe we're getting to the point where, as far as roles, everyone has a role every week. It's just rotate who has them.
Yeah.
So you have maybe the commercial, you've got the host, the hot seat, the book review, and then the learning leader, or whatever you choose, whatever we call it.
Yeah. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think that's part that kind of missing. I think the networking part, I think, you know? Because we've got the personal growth, you know? We're going to add the
We're killing
business
it on the
principles,
personal
you know?
growth, yeah.
Business strategies, and then the networking component, yeah?
And Doug, you said you were going to do what next week, or next meeting?
The business principle.
Business principle.
I like that name.
Do you have
Yeah.
a specific idea about what you're going to do or present? Okay.
Not at the moment.
You're just teeming with knowledge. So you have to decide
Yeah.
what's-
It's like I've got 10 things that could. All right.
Think that wraps
What
it up?
else? Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, cool.
All right.